get rolling. It's like rolling. Now we are going to talk about culture shock. Yes, off the light so that it does not affect us so much. So let's talk about culture shock. Now, when you see the topic, please put your light. When you see the topic start going on, and you'll be like, which part of this one now comes into the nursing field? In school, they don't really take time to teach us on culture shock. They don't take time to tell us that even though we are nurses, even though we are in the same country, just moving from one region to the next region, from one province to the next province, or from one state to the next state, you will suffer from culture shock. Not to talk of, they don't even tell us that if you live from your country to another country, you have double the pressure and the stress. And that is why when the nurses comes in, we try to enlighten you about what culture shock is all about. What you know will save you, but what you don't know is going to be the cause of your problem. Let's go to the first one, which is the learning objectives. In this course or this topic, we are going to understand what is culture. Again, number 2, we are going to know what is culture shock, because you need to know what culture is in the first place to be able to know the shock that you will get. Number 3, we are going to enumerate the stages of culture shock. And number 4, we are going to identify the symptoms and know how to solve it. So they seem like a disease condition. You need to know the disease condition. You need to know the causes. You need to know the signs and symptoms. Then you can go to the diagnosis before we talk about the treatment, the preventive measures, and the rehabilitative system that will be used. This is the same way that you are going to help in identifying culture shock in yourself, in your friend, and to help them and to help yourself come out of it. Because whether you like it or not, you will get through this stage. To start with, we are going to sharing the system, the meaning, the beliefs, and the values, as well as the behaviors passed on by significant others, parents, and members. A learning behavior, not a hereditary or a genetics. What we are talking here, we are going to be looking at what? If we talk about culture, where you are coming from is the belief, is the culture, is the behavior, is the orientation from the people of India. Where she is coming from, you're coming from the Philippines, is the belief, is the culture, is the nature. And that is why when you see me, you know I'm from Africa. When I see you, I know you're from the Philippines. I don't need anybody to tell me that. When you see them, you know they are from India. This is how it has been made. It is a meaningful behavioral and everything come together to give you a specific culture from which you're coming from. And this is the reason why when you now go to another area, their culture, their beliefs, their way of behavior, and every other thing that makes their culture will be what will shock you. Yeah. This is you being in another man's land but living in your own home country in your dreams. This is the culture we are talking about. And it is being passed on by families, by mothers, by grandmothers. It is a continuation of the generation. It is a particular generation that has believed in a certain way, has acted in a certain way, and from one generation to another, it keeps going. And that is why As so long one person was a Muslim, the whole Muslim keep going on. You just keep having more children and more families, and they keep believing in the same thing. We go to one, communication. The first thing you will identify when you go to a new country, you go to a new region, you go to a new village, is what? You are going to identify the language. The very first thing. If you land in the Douala airport in my home country, what you are going to hear is bonjour. Because Cameroon is divided into two, the French and the English. And the international airport is in the French. So when you land, the first thing you are going to hear is people speaking to you in French. It is in your responsibility to try to understand what the individual is saying. Is that understood? If you don't understand French, you need to make them to explain to you a little bit better in English, which might be the worst type of English you want to hear. Not saying that they are not speaking English, there are others that speak very good English. Okay? It's the same way as if you say you go to Italy, or you go to Mexico, or you go to a country that has a specific language, Germany, you will get them speaking German. And that is why I do not have any problem with the nurse not understanding any particular language at all. Because the language we speak depends on where we are working. If you want to go to Germany today, they'll ask you to start learning German language. If you want to go to France now, you want to learn French. Because you are working directly with a patient and they need you to understand the language they are saying. And that is why you will have Arabic language in this class. At least to know the basics. To know to ask, how are you? To be able to ask, have you eaten? To be able to accept that I have eaten. To be able to say basic things in Arabic that can help you communicate with your patient or with the family. Number two, the next thing that you're going to identify in a particular country when you arrive is what? The food. The kind of food the people eat. If you stand and you're hungry, you want to eat something. If I stand now in India, I'm hungry, what I'm going to eat? Something that is very spicy. Is that true? So their food is the next thing you are going to identify. And that is the reason why I say do not refuse food given to you. Do not refuse the gesture of welcoming that comes to you. The next you are going to identify is their clothing, the way they dress. If you arrive in the airport here and you meet the immigration officers that are lined up, you already know that this is me already in Qatar. Their clothing, their way of dressing will give you already a highlight of the people of Qatar. Now, these are the easily noticeable values, beliefs, culture that you are going to identify the very first moment you enter in a community or you enter in a new country. The next, that you will need to be there for some time before you get to understand, before you get to know, is what? Their values. What are their values? This is you now knowing that they have a period that is called a Ramadan, and this is the period where they fast. What are their values? It is now you understanding that during this period, you are not permitted to do this, you are not permitted to do that, you are not permitted to do this. It is you now coming to understand that because you are not married, you are not permitted to get pregnant. It is you now coming to know that because you are in an Arabic country, you cannot give a handshake to an opposite sex in your country. Is there a problem having given a handshake? There's no problem. We give handshake, give hugs, give kisses. Okay? There's no problem with that. But here, there is a problem. Now, when you now come to understand them, you now know the value that they have. Their thinking pattern. You will now understand when you start working with your patient, you will know that if I open the door hard, my mother will get angry. If I speak loudly, they will get angry. Now, when you know their thinking pattern, it shapes you to be able to live with people. And this is not just about your passion. This is equally about your accommodation, the way you relate with each other. The way you relate with people when you go out to have a quiet time. It helps you to know that this individual does not like me doing this and they don't like me doing this. This person likes when I do this, when I do this. And you learn to live in harmony with the people that are around you. Next, their beliefs. When you get to meet them, when you get to live with them, when you get to know them, you will now know the beliefs that are in that environment. You see, just like the young lady here, according to the dressing, you should know that it's a British, something of that nature, okay? Now, she is in her own culture. Greeting is okay. But in his own culture, as a Muslim, the handshake is not okay. Is she right? Yes. Is he right? Yes. We are not wrong or right. We are simply different. And because we are different, we have different beliefs, we have different cultures, and we have different ways to relate with each other. If we go to the next, here, the lady is a Muslim. She is playing the same ball, but because of her culture, her tradition, her beliefs, she has to cover herself completely. This is a national team. This is an acceptable uniform. Is she correct? Yes. On the other hand, she is a Westerner. She is dressing in their own national pattern. But what is it? It is just a pant and a bra. Is she right? Yes. It is her own culture that represents it the way they want. So you are not going to bash her because she dressed different, or bash her because she dressed different. You need to respect the individual, you need to respect the person, and you need to respect their own opinion, without coming to tell them what you believe and what it tells you. It is you, not her. Is that understood? Okay. Don't worry, I have funny images. Now when we go now to the culture shock itself, what does it say? When you got into the plane, you are coming to Qatar, in your mind, you have planned how you want your future to be. In your mind, you are telling yourself, within these 2 years, I am going to save money, I am going to work, I am going to have time for myself, I am going to make sure my mom does this, I'm going to make sure my father does it. This is your plan. The one thing you never planned for is to be in culture shock. One thing you never prepared for is the fact that you are coming from a well-oriented position, background, home country, to a country where you are completely disoriented. And that alone will put you in culture shock. Now let's go to the happy moments. In your mind, you're wondering, are the people friendly? When you are coming to the office, you have not met me, you have not met the director, you have not met anybody. You are wondering, are the people friendly? Will I get in an environment where it's as toxic as where I'm coming from? Will I get in an environment where it's as friendly as where I'm coming from? Will I meet a friend that is as nice as my friend? Will I meet someone that is as understanding as my own supervisor? Will I get punished for doing the least things or the most things? Am I sure I'm capable, I am efficient or proficient enough, competent enough for this job? Will they dismiss me because I'm not competent? What is the value of the nurses in that environment? These questions will keep popping in and out of your mind, and until you have closure, it's going to still keep ringing. They are talking about competency exams. Will I be able to pass? What if I don't make it the second time? What happens to me? But don't worry, we will get there. Now, when you come to Qatar, you are going to see the different people, the different things, and every other thing get mixed up. We start with culture, and when we talk about culture shock, it is the profound sense of disorientation and discomfort. The profound sense of disorientation and discomfort that comes when extended travel or living in a foreign country makes markedly different from your own. This happens when you leave your home country, where you know everywhere, where you know everyone, where you understand the different ethnic groups and the cultures, and then you travel for a long time to go into a new environment where there is a completely different culture from your own. Now you start having difficulties in adapting. If I was the one that have a great joy in putting on something short and something slim, exposing, and I get here and they tell me I cannot dress like that, I don't even have the outfit that I would dress. Because my whole back is made of dresses that I cannot wear. If I am not used to eating rice, and I am here, the only thing I have to eat is rice, I'm going to find difficulties. Because this is not a food type I want to eat. I thought maybe when I come here, I will make cocoyams, I will make fufu, I will make plantain. I can't find any of that. It's going to cause me to have disorientation, and the disorientation is going to come with great discomfort. Okay, this is how your mind will arrive when you start having that difficulties. It is going to be a black pitch. Because now you are in an environment that is completely different. Imagine that if I was from the French background of Cameroon, and I come here where I cannot speak English. Yes, there are people from my same country that cannot speak good morning in English. And then I come here. What do you think that is going to make me? I'm going to speak French. You go to the shop, you can't buy. You sit inside their accommodation, nobody understands what you say, you don't understand what anybody says. It's going to drive you crazy. Okay. Now we are now going to be looking at the symptoms and the signs of culture. When we start off, it starts with what? Stress and anxiety. How will you manage your stress and anxiety after you change environment, leaving your family, loved ones behind? This is the first question I will always ask someone next that I'm interviewing. If you leave your family, you leave your environment, you leave your hospital, you leave everything you know, how will you manage your stress? How will you manage your anxiety? Now tell me, when you are on duty, put your name tag correctly. Tell me, put your name tag correctly. When you are on duty and you had a very stressful day, what do you do when you get home? What do you do when you get home? Communicate what exactly? How do you help yourself to distress, to remove the stress that you've gone through, to remove the problems that you met in the hospital? What is that one thing that you find favor, pleasure in doing when you left the hospital that you had had a whole day of chaos? What do you do? Think about it. What do you do?
Once I left from I will hear music. learning person.
Okay. She will listen to music and she will cook whatever she wants to eat and she will eat. Oh, don't ever send me to the kitchen if I'm angry. I will cook the whole house. I will cook the whole house. Whatever you need to do with it after is your business. Don't perfect me. I just cook just to remove that anger. If I have to clean, I will clean plus the sleep because I'm mad. So she is going to listen to music and she's going to cook something she likes to eat. That is a way of removing the mind. You play music that refreshes your soul. Tell me, what do you do when you're stressed?
Stress eating.
She gives herself rewards. Rewards for the stress I've gone through today. Yeah, I want to eat, but this particular thing. Eating. Tell me.
I'll eat, rest, sleep.
She eats, she rests, or she sleeps. These are ways in which others get to relax. I watch Cinderella movies. Like all the Chinese Cinderella movies of that, I watch them. When I come to the office and everything seems to drive me crazy, I want to be a princess for a second. Like I want to feel like I have never walked before. I have all these people taking care of me and feel myself in that scenario and then come back out. Don't send me to the kitchen, I will cook the whole house, so you don't want me to do catastrophe again on top of what I'm going through. This is the way some other person claimed. I have one of my nurses, the senior nurses told me once that what is my stress is the fact that I'm paid. And I'm like, what do you mean by the fact that you're paid? He said, each time I have a stressful day or somebody trying to make me mad, I'll just tell myself, yeah, I am paid for you to talk to me anyhow. So go ahead. He does not take any of those things to heart because he waits for his end of month to be the reward of all the things that has been said to him that he was not happy, of all the stress that he has gone through that he was not happy, and that moment to him is a healing period. So each time his account balance seems to increase, you'll be like, yeah, this is the purpose of the shouting. This is the reason for this. This is the reason for the this. Like, no problem, you can say whatever you want to say, but you are paying me to say it. So he does not bother. I think it was crazy, but it was actually very good. Okay, it's good. We know already what we can do to be able to feel good, what we can do to be able to release stress. Because believe it or not, you will someday be in stress. And not just someday in stress with your patient, you will be someday in stress with me. You will be someday in stress with your colleague. But I want you to know that even though we are going to have differences at some point in time, we should be able to manage it the right way. We should be able to handle it with love and with concern. Is that understood? Okay. What causes culture shock? How does it come about? What is that one thing that makes you like, what is that thing that causes culture shock? We have number one, information overload. You just come. The first day I came here and I started giving you rules and regulations. As if that was not good enough. Now we are going to culture. Now we'll be going to code of conduct. We will be talking about what community nursing is all about. We will be talking about rules and responsibilities of the nurse. We will be talking about the responsibilities of the patient and the rights of the patient. All this information, when I am done, infection control will come. When she is done, quality will come. When she is done, you will have your main courses, which will be the 5 core competencies. This information is what we call information overload. And that is why I tell you, you should take each and every word to heart and let it go. Do not keep it in your head and try to bubble about it. Because it will either shape you to the nurse you are going to be, or it's going to give you a resentment and you start fighting with yourself. Imagine you have been working for the past 20 years and you have not been in class, and then you come to class and all these things start pounding in your head. You'll be like, what kind of stress is this? I just want to work, not to listen. But you cannot work properly if you do not get the orientation of the culture, the people, the things you are permitted to do in a new environment. Is that understood? Next, rule shifting. Now, the rule shifting, when you were in your home country, what were you having? You were a nurse in the hospital, in the clinic, and now you will be a nurse for the community. This is a rule shift, and this might equally come in to play with your culture shock, because now you are not more worried on how I will receive you. After you have passed your competency, you will now be worried of whether the family will accept you. Are you understanding? So it is a constant trying to adapt, constant trying to see if you're going to be accepted, constant trying to see if you're going to fight with other people. These are the shifts in roles that might cause you to have a culture shock. You have been used to working in a team, getting assistance, assisting others, but now you are going to be working alone. It's a rule shift. You have been working in the hospital for 12 hours or maybe for 8 hours, and now you are going to be working for 12 hours. It's a rule shift, and this might affect you. Next, personal shock. Tired and confused because of the overload of information, because of the things you are supposed to do and the things you are not supposed to do. You might have a conflict with yourself, wondering if the decision of coming to Qatar was a good one, wondering if you go back, will you still have your job? All this information, confusion, tiredness will get you into culture shock. Is that understood? Okay, let's go ahead. Let's look now at the symptoms that are going to be presenting when you actually start suffering from cultural shock. Tell you are going to suffer from it. Maybe except for these two, because they've already been here. So they already know the culture. This culture is not a disorientation to them. They are oriented to the culture. Still, they might be homesick, which is still part of the cultural shock. The symptoms you might have, number one, is anxiety. You are anxious. You are wondering with all the effect if you are going to pick up, if you are going to understand, if this is going to be a good path for you, if this is a preparation for the future that you want for yourself. Number two, you have grief. Now you know the stages of grief. All the stages, you are going to have them. Number three, you are disoriented, because again and again I will tell you what you are doing is right, do this. What you are doing is right, do this. The information and the feeling of documentations that you had in your home country might not be as much as what you'll be feeling now. Again, you are disoriented. You don't know if what you're going to do or not. And we are going to be teaching you on documentation until maybe 2 months after you start working. Because again, you'll be making errors and errors and errors and errors. Next, we are going to be talking about what? Resentment. Because of the disorientation, you will now resent every other person. You think that I am your problem. If I say go eat, you have a problem with that. I say go sit, you have a problem with that. Everything any other person says is bad. It is not you. You are just facing a symptom of culture shock. The next thing, you are going to isolate yourself and be lonely. You don't want to talk to people, you don't want to talk much. You get into a class of 10 individuals. Instead of relating, getting to know new people, be friends, and see how you can live in the community, you will sit alone. You say nothing. Even when they speak to you, you can't respond. You start being lonely. When the loneliness comes, you have insomnia. Now you can't sleep. You can't sleep by day, you can't sleep by night. What do you think that is going to lead to? The insomnia and every other thing You lost appetite, overreacting. You are anxious, you have symptoms of insomnia, you are lonely, you cannot even speak to somebody, you are resentful, now you are overreacting, you have lost appetite. The next thing is you are going to have headache. All this is going to lead to overthinking, and I will start hearing you telling me, I am sick, I need a day off. Is that understood? So when you identify yourself going through any of these symptoms, ask yourself, am I suffering from culture shock? When you identify your friend, your sister, going through any of these symptoms, you need to tell them, Habibi, you are in a stage of culture shock. I need you to come back to your body. This journey, don't take it, come back. Because it's just the same like depression. When somebody starts falling into depression, you can easily regain them to themselves. But when they are deep in depression, they don't even know. You tell them this, you tell them that, you are feeling anxious, but everything I do is okay. No, it's not. Because we can see it. We know the you before, and the you that we have now is a ghost. Is that understood? So be a sister's keeper. Be your friend's keeper. Make sure that if they cannot identify these symptoms in themselves, you should identify and call them back when it is early enough. Is that understood? Okay. Now, the difficulties about suffering from all the signs and symptoms of culture shock is the fact that even though you are confused, even though you are stressed, even though you have anxiety, even though you want to be alone, you will still need to wear your uniforms, put on your shoes, and go to a patient who by himself or herself, she is stressed, she is anxious, she is confused, she is disoriented, she is in need of a companion. And you will need to do what? To carry on your responsibilities effectively. Now tell me, how will this individual who is confused, anxious, stressed, and cannot manage themselves help another person to manage the same symptoms and even worse that they are going through? Can you do that? You will not be able to do that. You will not be able to be a good nurse. You will not be able to attend to your patient. You will not be able to be that good companion that that patient needs. And because of that, they will be lacking in your practice. And this lacking will come to the patient saying, I don't want a nurse. We now start having problems back and forth. Is that understood? So I need you to identify the symptoms early enough to come back to source, to see the aspect in the culture shock that you are already suffering from, and to call to it. Is that understood? Okay. Now that we know the symptoms and we know every other thing, let's look at the cultural shock from a perspective of stages. What are the stages of culture shock? Now, there are 4 stages of culture shock. 4 main stages of culture shock. And the first stage we are going to be looking at what? The honeymoon phase. Now, this honeymoon phase is that night that you are preparing, packing your dresses, telling your mother, I am going, from next month your life will change. Telling your husband, look, forget about this business thing you're trying. By 2 months' time, I will send you the money for the business. You are so happy. You are telling your children school fees will never be a problem. I have gotten a job. I am going to go there and I'm going to save the whole family. When in the plane, you don't even realize any turbulence. The plane was the most smooth thing that ever happened to you, even though others are complaining that there was a lot of turbulence. You did not notice. The joy of the future is far off. And this does not permit you to look at the small problems that is today. And then you came into the airport. Just imagine. If you compare the airport of Doha and the international airport in my home country, Please don't even compare it. It will be a shame to compare Doha with my home country. Because there, no, that is not an airport. You just get in, people are all handsome and clean and fine. Everyone is nice. If somebody greet you that time, you say, go, yes, sir. You are so eager. This is your future. This is the one thing you wanted. This is the face. Everything is nice. You get into Doha, the driver picks you up, the roads. Jesus! Who is the architect that constructed these things? The roads are so nice, the vehicles. When you go to the mall, you start behaving like a toddler. This one is nice. Hey, Jesus, what will I buy? Everything makes you excited. It is the honeymoon phase. It is the phase that everything is sweet. The first 1 week with you in Qatar, you are happy, you still have food, you are excited, you are talking with your family, you are coming here, you are trying to grasp everything. You want to impress. You want to make sure that everybody knows that I am on this. Just give us time. The shock phase. Phase number 2. You did honeymoon just for 1 month, just for 1 week. Habibi, people even do honeymoon for 1 month. Your own honeymoon ended in 1 week. And you think that this is going to be easy for us? Phase number 2, you are now shocked. Huh? After being so holy, so happy, so everything, now you are shocked. And in this phase 2, you start complaining. You were so happy, you were eating cakes, you were eating drinks, soft drinks, you were taking yogurt. Everything that was nice. Now, after 1 week, you now want to go and look for one of the Indian food. You cannot say, Jesus, small vegetables. This vegetable that is everywhere in India, and I'm in a supermarket I cannot see. Problem number 1. You leave accommodation, you want to come to the office. You took you 2 hours. What kinds of road are these? Why is there so much traffic? Why is there so much speed breaks? Why is there so much traffic lights? This is the same place you told me the first day that the roads were very nice. It's the same road you are not complaining. The next, you start noticing every bad thing. You wanted to go to the mall to get yourself a new outfit. We don't have Indian dresses. We don't have anything for the Filipinos. There is no dress of styling that Africans we don't have. Then you're like, it means the whole of this mall does not have one dress that I can wear and appreciate as an African, that I can wear and appreciate as an Indian. That is another problem. We have these things everywhere, even on the streets in my own country. You now start seeing fault. Everything now start coming together. The one thing that got you so excited becomes a problem. Before you got into the accommodation, you saw many people, you were so happy, the nurses came, greeted you. Oh, after 1 week you went to the kitchen to cook and the kitchen was a mess. Now you now see that there is a problem in that place with a lot of people. But you did not have the same problem the first day you came. You start getting yourself into shock. And when this gets stronger and you stay, it gets weaker and you get physically and mentally challenged. You cannot seem to understand what is going on now. Even you yourself complain for what you don't understand. Now you realize that back in your home country, if you wear your white shoes, except it's muddy, you are not going to see black. Now when you want to wash your shoes are all black. What is black for me? I went to the task, everyone was clean, why are my shoes black? You start complaining. Number 3. The phase number 3 is the regression phase. Now this is where you go into your pitch black. At this level, you don't more regret it. At this level, the only thing you tell me is no. I will call you, you say no. Mom, I want to go home country. Mom, my brother is sick, I want to go home country. Mom, my child is sick, I want to go home country. Mom, my husband is sick, I want to go home. The only thing that will come in your mouth is that I want to go home country. This is the position we've got now. You are homesick and your mind will commission you. You will sleep. The only place you find yourself is in India. The only place you find yourself is in the Philippines. I will only be in Africa, cooking with my mom in the kitchen, playing around with a child, doing something, but all those things will be in my home country. And when you get up the next day, you're like, if I was home. If I was home. If I was home, if you were home, what would you be doing? You have been home for 20 years, what did you do? What did you do if you were home? Now you now see that this thread like this I wanted to buy if I was home. When you were home, the thread was there, did you buy it? So what is the problem with home? You are going to meet this face. The loneliness, the aggressive face, the face where everybody becomes a problem. The only person you want to see is the people you have been seeing. The only person you want to see is your mom. The only person you want to see is your dad. The only person you want to see is your husband or your wife. This face is a dangerous face. It is in this face that you have all the signs and symptoms of culture shock. It is in this face that if you don't handle it correctly, you are truly going to go back home country. Because if you don't identify, this phase can put you into depression. And if you are not productive, what are we going to do with you? The first batches of nurses that I got, the lady left after 1 week. There was nothing we could do. We said everything. We canceled her in every way. We told her this phase 2 will pass. It's just a phase. You just need to be patient. You just need to be with us for even 1 more week. The phase will pass. And we are here to support you. It did not work. She cried. She did everything. And we had no choice than to send her back to India. So I want you to know that the time you need to help a friend, the time you need to be your sister's keeper, the time that you need to be a nurse and take care of your colleague is in this phase. When you have identified them self-destructing the same dreams that they were so excited to achieve. Is that understood? Okay. When we leave this phase, we are going to be the acceptance phase. And I tell you, the acceptance phase is one of the phases that gets everyone excited. Most often, this phase will arrive at the end of the month. Okay? This is you already making 1 morning kata. You have seen that, okay, this is it. There's no going back. There is no turning back. I need to start being aware of the fact that I have to eat rice, noodles, and whatever it is for the longest period ever. All those things that my mother has been cooking, all those things that I can get from my home country, all those dresses that I want to wear from my home country, I cannot get them here. I need to learn to wear what I see here, or I need to use a whole lot of money to buy what I want from my home country. I need to eat what I see here. I need to be patient when I'm leaving from the house to the office or from the house to work because there might be traffic. And this all comes together. And you get to the acceptance phase. And the acceptance phase gets even more better when you get up that morning on the 7th. You want to check your phone, there was an email, there was a message, and that message indicates that your account has been credited. There is no statement that is as beautiful as this statement. No statement at all. This one statement can change your mood and the mood of your whole family. This one statement like this. So this statement always helped facilitate the acceptance phase to come. Because it is after you have received this alert, the only alert that all of us, we are in Qatar for. That is why we are here, to receive alert. After you finish receiving the alert, your mother had told you oxygen was small. Why oxygen is small? You know, all the things we said to them when we were in school, they will say it to us. They will not start telling us that carbohydrate does not work. The same things we told them. They will tell you the gas had finished. You send the money, gas off. This one will tell you I had a business idea, and you send the money, problem solved. Your mother told you that the leakage that was on the house, you send the money, it's fixed, problem solved. You now start seeing the reality, the importance, that one thing that you were unable to do for the past 7 years, for the past 2 years, for the past 5 years, you have taken 1 month to solve it. It hastened your footsteps to the acceptance phase to tell you that even though I don't have the food from my home country, I will eat that food someday. In fact, now I have the capability of ordering the food right from my home country to be brought to Qatar so that I can eat. You hasten your steps to see that the one dream that my mother had, the one dream that my daughter had, can be achieved, can be realized. I saw a video the other day that a maid that has been working in one of the Arabic countries was traveling back to Kenya. And you know who was the pilot? Her son. The only child that she has worked in Arabic country as a maid for 30 years to train was the pilot that flew her back home. If that can be a realization, I don't mind. I don't mind suffering a bit, just so that my daughter someday will get her own dreams in the most easiest way possible. I don't mind to see that I will be the sacrificial lamb to make sure that tomorrow my mother can live a comfortable life. I don't mind that even though the problems will still be coming, at least I can solve them because I have the money. Unlike before, were there no problems? There were. The worst part of it is I don't have the money. So this is going to take us to the longest waited arrival of acceptance to the fact that I am okay. I love this place. And even though it's difficult, I still want to be here. I still want to grow. I still want to see that I can work, I can achieve my goals, because no important decision or goal in your life is going to come easy. It will come with a price. And that price is the question that I always ask. Are you ready to pay for it? Are you ready to be here, to work, not to eat all the spicy food, not to eat my delicious fufu, not to eat all the traditional food that I would have enjoyed in my home country? Are you ready to be here, to forego these desires and to learn new things, to learn new cultures, to accept new cultures, to grow in new cultures, enjoy their food, enjoy their way of dressing, enjoy everything, so that in return, while I advance in career, my family is comfortable. Is that understood? So that should always be in your mind. Because if you get stuck in stage 3, you can suffer for it for 2 years and be in Qatar and be miserable. You can get stuck in that even for 4 years. Even though you will still be in Qatar, you will be miserable. But if you move up to acceptance phase, you will have accepted all what will come your way, and you will be happy, and you will make each and every one of your dreams come true. Is that understood? Okay. When we pass that, we are going to go now to cultural diversity. If you never get to acceptance phase, you will never get to this stage. Is that understood? When you accept that you are now in a new culture, when you accept that you will now be relating with people from different cultures, you will now get into cultural diversity to explore. This is at the level where you now go to the beach, you remove your shoes and you feel the sun. This is the level where you go and you meet your colleague that is Kenya, and you take some Kenyan food and you eat and you enjoy it. It is the level where I now start eating, what is your food? The noodles. What does mountain call? Pancakes. I now eat pancakes every week. And it is good. It is the ones I still do not believe anybody can prepare pancakes as much as mountain. You understand? Now this, the level will come where you can now enjoy the Filipino food, you can now enjoy an Indian dish, you can now enjoy an Arabic dish, you can enjoy an African dish without complaining. It is good. The next day you come, they prepare something you've never seen, you're like, oh, which one is it? They say, taste it, you taste. It's nice. I would like to eat it some other time. It is when you get yourself into acceptance, and acceptance takes you to exploration. You now start exploring. You now start trying to understand the culture of another person. You now start seeing what they like, what they dislike. You now start seeing the importance, the reasons why they worship their God. You now start seeing the reasons and the importance of why they are Arabics, how they do things. You now start seeing the beauty of the way they dress, even though you have been used to dressing in pants and bra. You will now go to the market and buy your hijab by yourself. But you were criticizing before. Now it's very good. Because you now accept their culture. You are now diverse. You are now understanding each and every one. This is the kind of environment that we call the United States of America. Because they are different people from different nationality coming together and making a united state. You are going to unite yourself in your body, in understanding that I need to respect her, I need to respect her, I need to respect her. You come, somebody offers you their diet, you will not say, no, I don't eat that. You will taste it, and you will appreciate it, and you will tell them how good it is. They will equally taste your something. You will equally be excited about that one dish you've not eaten for 5 months, and now you manage to prepare it. You want somebody to taste it because it makes you happy. They will do it. This is the level where I need all of us to be. Because at this level, you are not going to be enduring. You are going to live. You are going to be happy. You are going to dream correctly. You are going to have good visions for yourself and for your family. And your family will be back home equally living a good life. Is that understood? Okay. Now, when we have finished accepting, when we have finished enjoying the differences, we are now going to be looking at healthcare differences. The differences that we might have in your healthcare setting. The differences that you might have in your healthcare setting in the Philippines. The difference of healthcare setting that we might have in my country. Okay? And the first one is the fact that what? Even though you are in a hospital, there will be a mosque for the people to go pray. There will be a time where the people will pray. And there will be a time where every activity will stop because people want to pray. This does not happen in my country. I don't know if it happens in yours. And I don't know if it happens in yours. environment that you are going to meet, you are going to understand that prayers is one of your care plan. It should be one of the activities that you will plan for, because you need to create space, time for your patient, to which they will use that time as their prayer moment. You cannot take a noon where it's supposed to be a patient's prayer time to use it to feed the patient, or to use it to take the patient out, or to use it to break the patient. At that moment, there should be that space that allows them to pray. Next, segregation. In my home country, every person, be it man, be it woman, we are in the same space, we are in the same hospital, we get attended by the same doctors. Nobody has any problem with that. Except for the toilet, where you have female and male toilets. That is the only thing that is segregated in my country, for toilet. But when you are here, you will see segregation of men's sitting area and women's sitting area. In the same house, there will be two sitting areas, one for men and one for women. In your house, do you have anything like that? Everybody sits together. So this is a cultural differences that is in your culture, but that is in their culture and it's not in our culture. The next you are going to see is consent. You are going to seek for consent for everything that you want to do. You want to give medication, tell them. Tell your mama, tell the baba you are caring for that you want to give medication. You want the baba to eat, tell him, take his consent to give him food. Even if the individual is unconscious, still tell the person. Is that understood? Next, the sleeping pattern. Their sleeping pattern might not be the same as our sleeping pattern, which is explains what? When it is during the Ramadan time, they will be up all night. While others will sleep by day, others will go to work and then come back to sleep by day. It is a whole shift in the timing. And if you are not used to with that, if you are not informed with that, you might feel like when you go on duty and they are up and you're like, what is wrong? My patient is not sleeping, my patient is this. This is the pattern of life they have lived, which is different from you and I, because we sleep all night, except for those that want to pray. They have midnight prayers too. Next, visitors. This way they receive visitors should, and it's different from the way we receive visitors. Again, our visitors are not segregated. We take all the visitors, we put them in the same area, we treat them the same. They don't receive their visitors like that. They have a female sitting room and a male sitting room. If the visitor is a female, you send them to a female sitting room. If the visitor is a male, you send the person to a male sitting room. And this makes the difference. The way you will approach a male, the way you will relate or greet a male will certainly be different from the way you greet a female. As long as we are going to greet them salam alaikum, we already know that for a male you cannot extend a hand of greetings. Next, language barrier. You might face language barrier when you start working in the patient's home, because maybe your patient speaks only Arabic. Let that not be a barrier. Let that not be a problem. Try as much as you can to make sure that every day you learn one thing in Arabic. You learn greetings, you learn to ask Mama, how are you? You learn to say something, but do not use that to be something that stands in your way from caring for your patient. Is that understood? There will always be care partners, there will always be family members that can always help you to communicate and to interpret, while hoping that you learn as time goes by. Next, we will have the cure. How do you treat cultural shock if one is at stage 3 and does not seem to come out of stage 3? First is to identify. You need to diagnose. And when you diagnose, you need to know the cause. When you identify the cause, they say in healthcare, if you remove the cause, You will treat the symptoms without necessarily using medications, as long as you take off the cause. So when you know what is causing that individual, when you know what is causing your friend to go through this cultural shock, if you remove that particular thing, you certainly solve the problem without necessarily beating yourself up. But next, what we are going to be finding is when this individual is in stage 3 and does not want to leave stage 3, they are going to be having panic attacks. And these panic attacks is going to make you make more than enough errors. Because you are not confident enough. Because you don't trust yourself enough to make sure that what you are doing is right or is wrong. And because your judgment is clouded and you cannot decide either it is wrong or right, you are going to face a lot of errors. We already know we are medical personnel. Errors should not be encouraged. We should limit our errors to 0. Because if we make a medication error, somebody might be paying for it dearly or paying with their life. Is that understood? Next, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself to understand that this is me in this stage and I am here because I'm homesick. This is me in this stage because I really need to eat my home country meal. This is me homesick because I don't have any dress at all that I can wear. Find it, solve it, and move on. When you have prepared yourself, study and scope the country. When I say study, it is as the beginning of what we are doing. We are preparing you by already telling you what you will face, what you will not face, how you will face it, what you should do and what you should not do. This is you studying to prepare yourself to face what is ahead of you. The next, you should do what? Give yourself time. Give yourself time. Sometimes, even when you do not find solution to your problem, just give yourself time. Because I tell you, there is nothing time cannot uncover. There is nothing enough time cannot resonate. There is nothing enough time cannot help you to come in consideration, to come in compromise with. Just give yourself time. I know that I'm in stage 3, I know I'm suffering, but I will give myself enough time to see that I can grow, to see that I can come to accept it. Instead of insisting that you want to go back home. Because if you have gone, you have lost the opportunity. I bet you when you get home after 1 week, you will still want to come back. But that time, it will be too late. Is that understood? When you leave timing, you should use family, friends as support. Use your friend, use your family, use me as a support. Ask for counseling. Call your family for encouragement. Call your family to give you that reason, that one thing that cost you in the first place to apply for this job. Call your family so that they can recall to you why you had chosen in the first place to leave India, to leave the Philippines, to come here to work. Because the reason why you came here in the first place can keep you to be here for 2 years. Is that understood? The most difficult journey is not the journey that is midway. The most difficult journey is the journey you are yet to start. And therefore, if you have started already, let that same energy that made you to start be there to take you forward. Is that understood? And lastly, write about it. If it disturbs you a lot, if you don't have somebody to speak to, if you don't have somebody to go to, write about it. Write it down. Today I am feeling very bad. Today Mom Aisha spoke to me, I really did not like it. Today this happened at work. Today my patient's care partner did not cooperate well with me. The speaking itself is a healing process. whether you are speaking to someone or you are speaking by writing, is a healing process. So say it out. This, after we have understood all this, we are now going to come to what? The best preparation is understanding the concept of culture, the ideas of culture, cultural differences. When you understand what culture is, where you are and where you are now, when you know the concept of culture of the people of Qatar, when you understand the differences between cultural differences, the different people, you will accept that this is now your new reality and this is now the new culture you need to blend in. Is that understood? Next, what is diversity in its entirety? What is diversity? When we say diversity, what are we talking about? Diversity, D, stands for difference. I stands for individual, which says different individuals. V stands for value. E stands for each other. R stands for regardless of what? S stands for skin. I stands for intelligent. T stands for talent. And Y stands for years. So diversity means different individuals valuing each other regardless of their skin, regardless of how intelligent they are, regardless of their talent, and regardless of the number of years in practice, the number of years in that country, the number of years of age they are as an individual. So it doesn't matter whether you are 1 year as a nurse, whether you are 9 years as a nurse, it doesn't matter whether you are the best of nurse or you are not. It doesn't matter whether you are 20 years or you are 50 years. It doesn't matter whether you are white, black, pink, green, or indigo. All what it stands is that we are different individuals that value each other regardless of our skin, regardless of how intelligent, how talented, and regardless of the number of years that we have. Is that understood? So there should never be, ever, a stage or a point in time where you will talk rudely to another person because of any differences at all. There should never come a point in time where you underlook your colleague because of any difference. We are all equal, and we will learn to value each other whether or not we are of the same age, whether or not we are of the same color skin, whether or not your hair is curly, long, straight, or whatsoever, even if you don't have hairs at all. Is that understood? Next, can you change your culture? Can you? You cannot. You cannot change your culture. But one thing you can do is you can accept another person's culture. So even though I say you should accept the culture of the people of Qatar, I am not asking you to forget who you are. You should know who you are while accepting the culture of the people from Philippines, while accepting the culture from the people from Cameroon, why accepting the culture from the people from Kenya? Why accepting the culture from the people from Sri Lanka or Bangladesh? We are different people coming together to live as one, respecting each other. To be successful in a land that is not yours, to be successful in a place that you have doubt, number one, develop a positive mindset, develop a cultural sensitivity, understanding of that person's culture. Number two, the awareness of culture shock. The one reason that you already know that there is something called cultural shock, the one reason that you know the signs and symptoms, how the stages are presented, and a cure for it already makes you a success in that story that you're about to write. The next, remembering whatever gave out will come in. Remembering whatever you give out will come back in. I always tell the nurses, be a kind, be a gentle, be a passionate, be a good companion. Because the same services that you are giving to somebody's mother, to somebody's child, to somebody's husband, to somebody's wife, another nurse is somewhere giving it to your mother, giving it to your husband, giving it to your child. So if you are terrible here, just know that your family will be meeting a terrible nurse somewhere else. If you are kind and you are good and you are nice, even the Lord will see you, and He too will protect your own family wherever they are. We already know without any doubt that one error that we commit, whether it's sin or it's unseen, it might cost the life of a patient, of an individual, of a loved one, of a husband or a child or someone. Do you want anybody to just come out of the blue from drinking alcohol, sleeping up, and then come in the next morning to treat your mother, to treat your husband, to treat your child? You don't want that. So let's be the example. Let's be the type of nurse that we want another person to be for our own loved ones. Next, realizing that we are not right or wrong, we are just different. For the fact that my way of thinking is different from yours does not mean we need to fight over it. We just need to understand we have a common ground and we work towards understanding what is best, especially if it has to do with the patient. If it is best for the patient, let it be. Because you might have another opinion as a medical personnel, and the family have another opinion because it's their loved one. It is in your place to explain, to educate, over and over and over, until they all understand, and so long it is for the good of your patient. Is that understood? Okay. Living in another person's country, you have to do what? You have to open your eyes, you have to open your mind, and you have to be what? Thankful. If you were living comfortably in your life, in your home country, without any problem, will you be here? Will you be here? If you were living in your home country, very comfortable, have all what you need, you will not be here. Because you want to stay in your home country, you want to stay with the people that you love. But because you were not 100% comfortable, because you wanted better, you wanted more, you wanted to give your family, your friends, your loved ones the best, you decided to leave that comfort zone to come here and hustle. So be thankful. Because this place might not be the best, but it might not even be where you want to be. It might not be the future you see yourself to be, but it is the place that you can start to get to where you want to. Is that understood? And when you are starting, the days of little beginnings are always very important because it shaped you for who you will be when you get where you are going to. So be thankful. Okay. Now we have finished our course for cultural shock. If you have any doubts, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. Any questions? Any doubts?
No.
Was it well understood?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, I will still give you break. Take time, eat something, go to the washroom, drink something, and then we will be back in the at 1 o'clock.